Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Nicole from Crowdfunder. For obvious reasons, we can't hold our workshops on location at the moment, so we're bringing them to you from our homes straight into your homes. Hopefully, by the end of today's workshop, you'll leave knowing more about crowdfunding and the Active Together Fund to prepare you to crowdfund for your sports organisation. At the end, you'll be sent a link to the Learn platform. There we'll show you how to crowdfund, giving you the tools to raise the money to make your idea happen. So just some quick housekeeping points to let you know before we start. We've allowed about 30 minutes for this session, but it might take a bit longer depending on how many questions we have. If you do have a question, type it in the chat box to the right of your screen. We'll try to make sure we get through as many as we can. And also, in case any of you are wondering, we cannot see you. You can see us, but we can't see you. And finally, we are in our homes. We might have a bit of an internet connection. Someone might knock on the door. One of our dogs might bark. Who knows? But just bear with us. So today we're going to hear from one of our crowdfunding coaches, Chloe. We're also going to hear from somebody who's crowdfunded before. They've been there, they've got the t-shirt. So we'll find out how it worked, what didn't work in making their campaign a success. So without further ado, Chloe, are you here? Yay.
Hello.
How are you doing, Chloe?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. So firstly, for those here who don't know, could you tell us a little bit about crowdfunding?
Yeah, absolutely. So crowdfunding is a great way of raising money and awareness for your organisation by engaging with the community. You will create a page on our online platform in which you'll tell us about your club, your impact in the wider community, and why you're crowdfunding. So for the majority of you here, the effects of COVID. You will then promote this page or campaign to everyone you know, to your community, to your members, friends, family, and your supporters will then make a pledge to help you reach your goal. To help you make the most of your campaign, we've created a brand new learning platform, especially for crowdfunding for sport, where we will share with you the top tips to make the most of your campaign. It's really important that you're happy with your page before applying to any extra funding, because this page is what they're going to be assessing along with your application form as well. So we at Crowdfunder are the top rewards-based crowdfunding platform. This means that we offer projects the option of adding rewards to their page in addition to your standard donation, what you perhaps usually associate with fundraising. It encourages more pledges and larger pledges too, and it enables you to attract pledges from outside your inner network, so outside the rugby world, for example. So let me give you a little example. This is Aston Ingham Cricket Club. They, like a lot of you here, have been affected financially by the coronavirus crisis. So they decided to crowdfund with us to keep the club afloat. They created a page with loads of videos and pictures, loads of really good information on there as well. But my favourite part of their campaign was their rewards. They had plenty that were targeted towards the cricket community. So they had an advertising board for people to advertise on the surrounds of the pitch. They also had a cricket bat renovation service, but they also broadened their network by reaching out to those that are potentially not interested in cricket at all. They had cakes and fruit and juice. They even had a holiday in there, which is really cool. So they are doing really well. They're actually actively crowdfunding with us at the moment. They are over £6,000 from 91 supporters. They've also secured Sport England extra funding. So once they've hit the criteria, they'll see an extra boost come in from Sport England as well. So sport crowdfunds really, really well. And to help that, we have teamed up with Sport England to help organisations that have been affected directly from coronavirus. We have put together the Active Together Fund. This is an amazing opportunity for sports clubs to receive part of a £1 million pot. Each club can receive up to a maximum of £10,000 towards their campaign. You must hit a couple of criteria. You must be based in England. You must go on to hit 100% of your target, and you must be crowdfunding in response to the coronavirus crisis. Remember that if you do apply for this fund, make sure that your page is absolutely perfect before you apply, because this is what they're going to be assessing. Now, you guys have a bit of an advantage here because sport is an absolute crowdfunder. And that makes sense to me because crowdfunding is all about communities getting together and cheering for a common goal. And I'm sure you'll see a lot of similarities in sport as well. So I've included on this slide some examples of all the different sports clubs that have and are crowdfunding with us, and you'll see absolutely everything from cricket to rugby to swimming and everything in between as well. I'm going to hand back to you, Nicole, if you're still there.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much, Chloe. That was a really great introduction. You're going to come back for a Q&A in a moment, so we will see you again in a few minutes' time. And before that, we're going to have a look at a short video from Gravesend Rugby Club, just to find out a little bit more about their project before we get Gerard from the team there on for a bit of an interview. So let's watch the video.
I thought it would be useful to provide an update in terms of where we are on the crowdfunding. As you can see from the numbers on the page, we have been absolutely overwhelmed by the support. And I'd just like to thank each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart for the difference this is going to make to Gravesend Rugby Club. We've already started to place orders for the posts and the scoreboard. We're now looking to move on to our other projects, which include providing new kit for the ladies and girls teams and extra equipment for wheelchair rugby. It wasn't just me that wanted to say thank you. Here are a few other people that are going to benefit from your contributions at Gravesend RFC.
On behalf of Gravesend Rugby Football Club Billion Youth Section, we'd like to thank you for all of your support. Any donations you may have made or are going to make are truly appreciated.
Thank you for supporting GRFC.
On behalf of the Million Youth, we thank you for your donations.
Thank you for supporting GRFC. Thank you for supporting GRFC.
I have to say I'm delighted with the response to our appeal for funds for the club. You've all performed extremely well and we're very, very thankful. Thanks very much indeed. Look forward to seeing you all soon.
On behalf of Gravesend Rugby Club Senior Section, I would just like to thank everybody for the fantastic amount of money that's been raised on the crowdfunding project that we've put together, and we look forward to getting back to training and seeing you on the pitch soon.
On behalf of the GRFC ladies, thank you for all your donations.
Thank you for supporting GRFC.
On behalf of the wheelchair rugby team, thank you for all the donations.
Hi everyone. I just wanted to thank you all for the wonderful expressions of support that you have shown to our club during these difficult times. The crowdfunding donations have surpassed all expectations. Being possibly the only rugby club in Kent not to receive the government relief funding, your donations definitely make a difference. The work around the ground being carried out by volunteers often goes unrecognised, and I would like, as president of the club, to express our heartfelt thanks to all those who give their time and funds to keep the club in good shape. Together, this all bodes well for the future of the club. So many thanks once again. Come on, Eugenes.
Hi, Bob Hussey here, head coach. I'd just like to thank you for all those organising and all the people who have been involved in the crowdfunding thing. I think it's really good. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much.
On behalf of all the teams here at Gravesend Rugby Club, we'd just like to say a massive thank you to all the supporters, players, sponsors and everyone else for your donations. Through your kind acts of generosity, we've been able to raise over 25 grand, which is truly phenomenal. So once again, thanks, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
We're now entering the last couple of weeks of the crowdfunding, so let's give it a final push and get across that £30,000 target. We will absolutely mark the success of this project on the 18th of July, and you'll all be receiving an invite to come along and celebrate with us. But in between, so let's push on that target, and when we come back, whilst things will look a little bit different, it won't only be in the bar. Hopefully you'll see some of the improvements that your contributions have made. And together, we can get rugby ready.
Oh, it's such a good video. So hopefully we have Gerard here from the rugby club. Hopefully. Hello. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Very pleased with the success of this.
Yeah, it's been so successful. So what are you at now? I think it was about £33,000.
Yeah, £33,000. We're having one last push because we, as on the video, we're ending on Saturday. We've got a bit of a celebration down the club. Invite everyone who's donated, and we're trying to just get through that 35,000 barrier.
Yeah,
fingers crossed we'll make it.
You're going to get there, definitely. Oh, fab. Well, could you tell us a little bit more about your project, please, Gerard?
Yes, like many other sports facilities, rugby clubs, we've all been affected by COVID, and this year, prior to it, we had planned to undertake some social events to raise some money because we knew we needed some new equipment for the club. Predominantly, our posts were 30 years old, and every time we took them down, we weren't sure we were going to get them back up again. We're very keen to get a new electronic scoreboard because we host lots of different rugby events for schools rugby in the county. It's just useful to be able to control the school, and we've got a thriving wheelchair rugby section, and also both for new ladies and girls teams, and they needed funding. So we had specific projects over the summer, and obviously with the clubhouse being closed, that all fell away. So one of our team members, we created a fundraising team as a result of the COVID crisis, and one of our team went on one of these webinars and saw the benefit of what you could do with fundraising.
And why did you decide to crowdfund in particular? Because I'm sure there were other ways you could have fundraised. Yeah,
but what this obviously appealed to us without doubt was the matching scheme. The Sports England 10,000 matching scheme. Also, it came through the RFU, and the kind of just what we saw, how it worked, and the support we felt we could get with it kind of really matched our criteria. We had talked about doing something before, but that kind of really gave us the emphasis to really get on and do it.
And you've had a continuous influx of pledges, haven't you, throughout the campaign? How have you kept that momentum going? How have you managed that?
We started off with quite a low target. We thought, well, we could get £10,000 in, we were doing exceptionally well with the 100 supporters. And the crowdfunding team also helped us kind of set up our page properly, and we did initial video. We created a team around this whole project, had another WhatsApp group for that, and we kind of really focused on ensuring that we hit the various social media outlets, constantly posting on Facebook and Instagram, and also reaching out to all the various teams and sections through their WhatsApps. And the videos helped. On every time we promoted something, we did an initial video, and then we did obviously the video you just saw. We continuously got an influx of more people donating. So you had to really be very continuously trying to reach out to the public, to both the members of GRFC and the wider audience. And we had some great success stories. People who haven't been at the club for 20, 30 years have kind of seen it and made donations.
So you just kept that messaging going, kept it in people's minds as you've gone through. Just to say, if anyone has any questions at all for Gerard, please do send them in. So what did you find most difficult about crowdfunding?
It wasn't too much difficult. I mean, like I say, its initial thing is always starting, isn't it? Getting the whole thing going. How do you set up the page? But we got great support from the crowdfunding team. They looked at our page and made recommendations around getting more rewards in, not just probably rugby club focus, as they talked about a bit before. We've got additional rewards in for food in town, pizzas, etc. The hardest thing is, like always, just getting started. But once we kind of got started, we really got some momentum going with it, and we really just started to raise lots of money.
Yeah. And what did you find worked best throughout the campaign? It's obviously not finished yet, but so far.
No, we kind of like I said, I think what worked best was starting off with kind of low target, and as we kind of went through that, we kind of said and kept stretching the target, and so we constantly had people wanting to join in to try and get us to that next one. The videos are massively important. I wouldn't underestimate them. Getting the chairman up. I thought the last video we did with all the different sections who are going to benefit from it really made a good, strong impact, and we saw a lot of donations after that because people could see who was going to really benefit from that. The rewards obviously also helped, and we've got a couple of new sponsors out of it. Hopefully we'll get them for the next few years because we had a sponsors package as well. So
yeah, that's really interesting. So it could have a knock-on effect for years to come. So I can see on your page that you had quite a wide range of rewards. Which of these did you find were the most effective out of all of them?
I think it's a variety one. I think probably the free coffee for a lot of rugby players probably didn't go as down as well as we probably should have maybe targeted something slightly different. The quite a number took up the kind of the discounted 3 mil in towns. We even got to, like I say, a couple of the larger people to hit the rewards for the sponsorship. It was so I think when you look at the rewards, I think my advice, I think you've got to think about what works for both your club and the members of the club, and also some external people who you want to donate as well. So just think about what the variety of the rewards.
So yeah, collaborating with local businesses to get those rewards that are going to have a bit of a wider appeal, like the discounted reward that you've got on yours. And who helped with your campaign, and how did you divide up that workload between you?
Well, we were quite fortunate. We've got a pretty good team at Gravesend, and we weren't short of volunteers. Managed to even get my daughter into doing the videoing, so that wasn't, luckily she's got the experience on that. And it's just a broad section of kind of from the chairman all the way down to our kind of bar managers and team. Everyone came together and everyone took on a bit of a responsibility, so it wasn't all on one's shoulders. And so everyone was coming up with constant ideas about what to post on social media, how to reach out to the sections, and you just got to be constantly on it. You can't just send out one video and then leave it for a week. You need everyone to continuously be thinking about how you can post something. Great, we're nearly at 20,000. Let's get us over that. We're nearly at 25. Have you thought about the rewards? And obviously now we've got the kind of closing event. We kind of closed a little bit earlier rather than full 7 weeks, but this last week we've seen a bit more, a lot more money come in as we kind of reached to the final end. So it's you need a team around you, and that's massively.
And as Chloe mentioned earlier, you guys really you're designed for crowdfunding because you do obviously already work in a team so well. So what advice would you give someone about to crowdfund? What would you say to someone who's just about to get started?
Initially we were all very apprehensive. Would we get 100 members? Would we reach the target? Given the current climate, would people really be looking to support your club? But, you know, people, you know, especially for our scenario, love the club, love the Gravesend, want to see rugby come back, want to see us really survive and move forward. And so we're, you know, being overwhelmed with the generosity of people. So don't, you know, be afraid. I think about, you know, how you are going to continuously promote it. Take a bit of time to do the videos and to try and get the rewards ahead, so they're there in place. And like I say, you know, just really work hard at communicating it out via the social medias. And people all use different types of social media these days, whether it's via email, WhatsApp group, Facebook, Twitter. You just got to hit them all and do it regularly. And eventually, bit by bit, people, you know, will donate. And yeah.
That's great advice. Thank you so much. So we've had a question in for you from Rod Wood. Any advice on do's and don'ts in the campaign? So I think you've covered some of the do's and don'ts, but is there anything else that you would add?
No, I think, like I say, you don't leave it just to one or two people, because I think that can be a bit of a burden on them, and you know, people get distracted. Definitely the do's, you've just got to constantly promote it, and because like everyone's, you know, people are busy doing different things. They may think about donating and then forget, but if it's constantly reminding people, then eventually, you know, you do see people continuously. We've had a continuous donations over the entire 4 or 5 week period, virtually every day.
Fab, thank you so much, Gerard, for all of your time. Really, really appreciate it. I think there's some brilliant advice there, and good luck for the last few days.
Thank you. Yeah, looking forward to the celebration. Thanks.
Yes, you deserve it. Okay, so Chloe, are you there? Let's do some questions. We've had a lot of questions in for you.
I'm ready.
Yes. Okay. So first question, Chloe, from Mike. Thank you for your question, Mike. If you set a target of 10K and only reach 9K, do you get any match funding? That's a good question, Mike.
So no, you have to go on to hit 100% of your target to receive that match funding. But provided your application has been approved, that match funding does go towards your target. So if you're, in this sense, if your target's 10K and you receive the maximum of 50%, so 5K from Sport England, that would go towards that 10K target.
Okay, so the answer is definitely no. The next question is from Gareth. If you set a target of 2K but end up getting 10K, do you get match funding from Sport England of the 2K or the 10K?
It would be based on your initial target. So if your target is 2K, you'll receive a maximum of £1,000 from Sport England. If you get more, then you keep more.
Yeah, fab. And then the next question is from Ian. Thanks for your question, Ian. If you've had a Sport England Community Emergency Fund grant, can you still get a crowdfunder matched grant?
So this is a bit of a tricky one, because in some cases you can, depending on what it's for. So the CEF fund was a little while ago, and we're very aware that lots of things have happened, and perhaps you now need to let me think of an example, add more changing rooms to enable social distancing, for example. So that would be for a different thing, and that would be okay. But if you're crowdfunding for the exact same cause that you received the CEF money for, then no, you can't.
That totally makes sense, Chloe. And another question from Mike. What if you set a target for 5K and a stretch target for 7K, but you only end up raising 6K? How much gets funded? I think you answered this before, but I think it's a really important point.
Okay, yeah. So again,
So
the
let's
initial
go back through it.
target is what we're looking at when it comes to match funding. So if your initial target is 5k, you can receive up to 2.5 from Sport England, and then anything that you raise on top of that is yours to keep.
Fab. And another question from Ian: when is it known if Sport England still have money left from the pot they've allocated for this initiative? So you had said before, Chloe, that it was initially £1 million. So yeah, what's the situation there? How do you know?
Okay, well, there is plenty in the pot at the moment. I think we have released 250,000 thereabouts to clubs so far. So there's plenty more in the pot. Just be aware that this fund is specifically designed to overcome the coronavirus. So fingers crossed, when things come back to normal, the fund isn't always going to be there, and it is done on a first come first serve basis, so get in there quick.
But at the moment we're still good to go. The next question is from Chris. We're a registered charity. Do the same rules apply? Is there anything different there for a charity?
You're absolutely fine to apply.
Fab. And another question from Gareth: Can crowdfunding be for general expenditure items, or does it have to be for a specific project? This is a good question.
So you can crowdfund for anything. In terms of the Active Together Fund, which I suspect that's probably more what we're asking about here, it is specifically designed to overcome the effects of COVID. So whether that's survival of the club or, as I mentioned earlier, something like enabling social distancing or I can't think of more examples, but if it's something else that is as a result of the crisis, then it's fine. Just make sure you really highlight that on your page. Be as transparent as possible, because we want to see why you're crowdfunding. We want to see where the need is.
Yeah, there are lots of new bits of legislation and things that clubs have to do. Things around toilets, having enough access to different areas of the building and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, extra kit, things like that. There's lots more things that, rather than just the financial survival of it, there's a lot more to take into consideration now as well, especially now that some clubs are able to get back to actually doing sport.
Yes, yeah, exactly. That's the aim. And then we've had a question from Claire. She's not clear about the criteria. She says it says that you need to reach 100% of your target, but in the eligibility criteria, it talks about having to raise at least 25% of your initial target. Could you clarify this, please? What does that mean?
Okay, so you need to raise 25% of your targets. You also need to hit the certain number of supporter numbers, which depends on your target. So have a look at the terms and conditions for that. I won't go into that because that's confusing to say out loud. You must hit 25%. That's when the Sport England funding will then be visible on your page. Then you must go on to hit that 100% in order to keep that fund.
And if anybody is interested in how many supporters, anything like that, all of that will be on the eligibility criteria, won't it? Laid out really clearly, because it is quite, it's not complicated, but it's just easy to see it all written out. So if you are interested in that,
it's very simple, but seeing it written down rather than me blurting out numbers will simpler.
Yes. And a question from Joanna: is the match funding automatically requested by Crowdfunder, or do we have to apply for it separately?
So you will have to apply there on your dashboard. When you start creating a page, there's a tab that says extra funding, and you'll scroll down, Usually at the bottom there is the Active Together Fund, and then you'll have to fill in a short application form. But make sure you do this after you've created your page. I know I keep going on about it, but they do look at your page as well as your application form. So make sure they're both ready to go before you send it off.
Cool. And we've had a question from Gemma. So to confirm, the grant match funding is only available if you're raising funds to survive due to COVID. It's not available if you're raising money to improve facilities.
If you're just raising money to improve facilities for nothing to do with COVID, then yeah, I'm afraid it's not for you.
Yeah, this one isn't.
Please do crowdfund with us anyway, because you can. It's a great way of raising money.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so any other questions? Yes, there's one from Karen. Where do you go to create the page and apply?
I'm sure our moderator will
link
send
in
a
there
link to our website, but you can go onto crowdfunder.co.uk and there's a section called Sport, and it'll take you right there.
And it's funds, activate your space. It's in there.
So
yeah, pop along there. Any other questions? I feel like we're getting towards the end. We are. Yeah, I think that's everything. Fab. Thank you so much, Chloe. So what are the next steps? Where do we go from here, Chloe?
Sure. So hopefully now everyone's got a better understanding of crowdfunding and how it might benefit your organisation. So now it's your turn to become the expert. And you can join us on Crowdfund Learn, which is our brand new learning platform. There's a picture of it there. And we will tell you all about the ins and outs of planning, creating and running a successful crowdfunding project. And we will give you all the tools you need to make the most of your campaign. I believe there should be a link in the box. So what are you waiting for?
They're fab, those Learn platforms. Definitely get on there next. Thank you so much, Chloe. That was really great. Thank you so much. And also to Gerard, really appreciate his time. And it was so useful. So please do follow the link to the Learn platform to take the next step in your crowdfunding journey. Thank you so much for everyone watching, and take care.